Hello guys, how you doing? Hopefully I find you well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And of course, it's Brother Mason, and we are here at the Metaphysical Academy. So you are more than welcome, and thank you so much for your presence. Ladies and gentlemen, today I just thought I will come and have a little chat with you, and I want to share with you a piece of information that I find, personally, I do find this information quite interesting, quite intriguing, quite life-changing. So it's one of those teachings, metaphysical, esoterical teachings that if you really approach it with an open mind, and if you approach it with without any resistance in your mind, you might perhaps find it quite interesting as well, and you might even apply it in your own life, because a lot of people, they keep on talking about things that are theoretical, but I think there is no point trying to motivate or trying to give people any kind of information that is only theoretical. Do you know what I'm saying? Any information or anything that you're given, it has to be made practical, something that has to be applied in your life. Because there's no point just learning something if you're not going to apply it, or if it's not applicable practically. So this piece of information that I want to share with you, hopefully, and if you approach it, take it with assimilate it in your own mind, in your own life, hopefully you might apply it practically in your day-to-day reality. So, Brother Mason, what are you talking about? What kind of information that you could share with us that could be that's so interesting? And how come it's only you that possess this information? I hear you asking, and thank you for asking that important question. Now, the answer to that is this. This information I'm going to share with you is nothing new. It's only that we develop some kind of an amnesia. We are totally forgotten this information because back in the days in antiquity, our ancestors used to know this information. And so I just thought, you know what, I'll come and share it with you. Because obviously information is not important unless if it's shared with others. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you knew this. But I need to tell you this. Everything that happens in your life, every single experience that you encounter in your day-to-day living, every single occurrence that happened, every single manifestation, every single thing that happens from the time you get up in the morning to how you spend the whole day, and when you go back to sleep at night, and when you dream at night, when you're sleeping at night, every single thing that happens is entirely up to you. It's you who cause or who manifests or who create this reality. It's not something that is coincidental. It's not something that is just happening, like you're living in a mechanical world where you are just following instructions. You've been programmed and you just follow like a robot. Every single thing that happens in your life, all day, every day, you are the creator. You create your own reality. Every single manifestation, good or bad, good or evil, positive or negative, every single thing, you are the creator. Nobody else has created that for you. I want you to understand this. So your own reality is caused by you. It is you who cause every single form of action, every single manifestation, the things that you attract, whether they are positive or negative, the people that you attract in your life, whether they are positive or negative, the experiences that you attract in your life, whether they are positive or negative, all the things that manifest in your life, you are the creator. Nobody else creates it. I don't know if you know this. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. Let me repeat that again. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. That's what you are. We've forgotten this knowledge. We've forgotten our identity. See, most of us, we identify ourselves with the physical self. We see this flesh and bones. We see the clothes that we're wearing, the pigmentation of my skin, the age, earth age, my sexuality, gender, geographical origin, ethnicity, the community, culture, and tradition. We identify ourselves with all of these things. Then we call ourselves, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. And all the things that you have you've accumulated and made believe and stored in your storehouse, which is internal, which is called the subconscious mind. All of those things have helped you to develop an ego. And most of us, we identify ourselves with our ego self. Not only do we identify ourselves with our ego self, but we identify ourselves with our physicality. But ego and the physicalness, it's only matter. It's only one of your existence. As a matter of fact, it's your lesser existence. Let me repeat that again. Physicalness and the ego is just one of your lesser existence. Because you are a trillion being. Trillion as in three. You are three in one. You are the Holy Trinity. You are as your spiritual being. You are your mental being, and you are a physical being. Everything that happens in the physical world or your physical reality has got its own origin. So in a way, when I'm telling you, every single thing that happens, you attract or you manifest in your day-to-day life, you first of all create it in your non-physical reality or your non-physical being world. Like I said, you exist in three. You are one in three. You are one in three or three in one. So your spiritual self and your mental self, these worlds are real. They are just as real as this world that you're seeing, this physical world that you see. So the non-visible world, the non-visible self, is just as real as this physical self where you can actually touch, feel, matter. This physical realm is just one of the worlds that you are living. But here's the thing. Your spiritual self and your mental self are higher states of consciousness. They are higher states of reality. So everything that happens in your physical reality is a consequence of the spiritual and the mental reality. So whatever that you are experiencing today, whatever that you are going through, whatever that you are achieving or not achieving, whatever that you have attracted yourself today, whether they are problems or non-problems, whether they are achievements or non-achievements, all of these things, you have created them in your spiritual world, in your mental world. So that's why, ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative to try to exist and identify yourself more with your spiritual self, or live in spirit, or be mindful of your mind, of your thinking. Be mindful of the thought patterns, because the reality is created by thinking. Every form of existence is a thought process. Anything that happens has been thought first. Before is, there was nothing, but before is, there was. What you have and what you experience is created by your mind. So it is your mind which creates things. But when you're talking about mind, what are we talking about? We're talking about your higher state of mind, or your higher mind. We've got two minds. Even the mind itself is divided into two. You've got your lower mind and you've got your higher mind. Your lower mind is the one that is more associated with the physical reality, or with the animal self, or the animalistic reality of the self. This is the mind that most of us live with on a day-to-day basis. But you've got your higher mind. Your higher mind is your higher self. And your higher self knows that it can create anything that it wants. Your spiritual self knows that it can create anything that it wants. So anything that you would desire to have in your life, anything that you want to have in your life, it's already there. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. You probably didn't know this. But whatever, you have to remember that the mind, that which you call God, Allah, Brahma, the Quetzalcoatl, Odin, whatever you want to call this creator. As human beings, we've given names to the creator. Even though I'm totally against giving any names to the creator, because the creator is the one. You can't know the unknowable. How can you know? How can you not know the unfathomable? Do you understand what I'm saying? The unknowable cannot be known. So it is the creator. Now, the creator is created everything in existence. Everything that you can think of. It's almost like a mathematical equation where every single formula always creates something. Okay? So anything that you think of to be in existence is already there. So the creator has created everything that you can think of. Any possible thing that you can think of is already been there. Now here's the thing. You yourself, you are part of the creator. As a matter of fact, you are the creator, because the creator is a you. The creator has become you. Consciousness. There's only one consciousness. But the thing is, consciousness is made itself individual. Or it is individualized consciousness that has become you, that has become me, that has become him, that has become her, and that has become everybody else. So everybody else is nothing else but individualized consciousness. Or in other words, every single person is nothing else but individualized God. There's only one consciousness. Okay? It's like water, basically. In a sea of water, water is made up of what? Droplets, little droplets of water. So it is the little droplets of water that makes the water, that makes the ocean, that makes the sea. Okay. So basically, every single thing, like I said, that you want is already there. Now, how do you attract the things that you want? How do you accomplish all your desires and goals? How do you do all the things that are meaningful, or things that are satisfy your heart? How do you do that? Good question, and thank you for asking. And the simple and only answer to that question is this: imagination creates a reality. All you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, and even back in ancient times, in antiquity, our ancestors knew this in knowledge. This is a secret teaching of all ages. That's why I said we only simply develop some kind of an amnesia and totally forgotten this. But it's very simple. It's not complicated. Reality is only caused by imagination. All you have to do is to imagine that which you want. Imagine that which you wish to have. Because once you are imagining, you are using your higher state of self. Like I told you, you are a trillion being. You are 3 in 1. So once you start imagining, you are already venturing into the uncharted territory of the non-physical realm, or the non-visible realm. Because when you're imagining, you are imagining something that you can't see. You are seeing something that you can't see in this physical world, but you can see it in your non-physical world. Now, when you are imagining, you're already connecting yourself with your physical, with your spiritual, and your higher mental self. So let me repeat again. Imagination creates a reality. That which you wish to have in your life, that which you wish to attract in your life, simply imagine it. And when you imagine it, consider it done. This is where the trick is. This is where the secret is, ladies and gentlemen. When you imagine something, I'm going to give you a real life examples, okay? Just to make sure that you clearly understand what we're talking about today. So when you imagine something, you are already creating something in your non-physical world. Remember what I've just told you before. Every single thing that happens in this physical self is an afterthought. It's a manifestation of something that is already created in the non-physical realm or the non-physical dimension, which is your higher state of mind and your spiritual mind. So consciousness can create anything in different realms. So when you create something, when you imagine something, just use your mind. Just use your higher state of consciousness. Imagine whatever that you want. And you know what? There is no limitations. There's no impossibilities, because consciousness, which is God, which is the mind of the all, is none. There is no limitness. It is the omniscient, omnipresence self, which is you, which has become you. God simply became you so that you can become God. One day you can wake up and realize that you are God existing in the physical world. Okay. Because simply God wanted to manifest and experience reality. That's all it is. You are just one being, one consciousness. Okay. Let's go back to what we're talking about. So whatever that you want, whatever that you desire to have, simply imagine it. When you imagine it, you are already connecting with your spiritual self and your higher state of consciousness, or your higher mental self. So let's give real life examples. Okay, let's assume there is a job that you've always wanted to do. There's a job, you went to school, you went to uni, or whatever it is, or maybe you're passionate about this job. Forget that even if you do not have the qualifications for this job, even if you do not have the qualifications or the experience for this job, but this is something that you've always wanted. This is something that pleases your soul. This is something that pleases your heart. It will make your life worth living. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you do. Imagine as if you've got the job. Imagine as if you are already in the job. Imagine as if you are carrying the day-to-day task for that job. Imagine as if you're waking up in the morning, you're getting in your car, or you're getting on a bus, on a train, whatever, or you're walking to that place of employment, and you are carrying on this task, and you are doing this job with a smile on your face, because this is the job that you always wanted. This is your dream job. Imagine all of these things happening to you, and take it as if it's a reality, as it's a real world. Like I told you this before, this is the great paradox. That what you think is invisible, that what you can't see, you might assume this is daydreaming. It's non-reality. It's not real. This is just, it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy land. It's a fiction. This is where people go wrong, because the non-physical world is just as real as this physical dimension that you can see, feel, touch, and whatever. So pretend. I don't even want to use the word pretend. I want to use the word appropriate. And live it, feel it, see it as if it's real. You are in your job, your dream job. Let's give another example. You want to have a house. You want to buy your first property. This is a property that you've always wanted to do. And be very specific. You want to live in this location, and be even specific about the kind of property that you see, the kind of neighborhood that you want to have, the kind of neighbors that you want to have. So in your imagination, and you remember, your imagination is your higher state of consciousness. You are your spiritual self. So in your imagination, open the door to this property. Sit in your living room, cook food in your kitchen, sleep on your new bed, feel the walls of your new house, see the garden, go in the garden, chillax in the garden, make a barbecue, go and use the bathroom, go into your shower, bathtub, whatever it is. You want to put in jacuzzi, you go ahead. It's your house, it's your property. Decorate the house, fill the house, put your new curtains, put your favorite carpets, put your favorite furnitures, fill your furniture. Feel how it feels, experience and feel 100% totally your new house. Feel as if it's real. Experience as if it's real. Because do you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It is real. Because reality is created by the non-physical self, which is your higher self, which is your spiritual self. Everything that everything that you want in your life, ladies and gentlemen, I know, because of cognitive dissonance and because of religious indoctrination, you've developed so many layers that what I am trying to tell you or what I'm teaching you today, it might seem like I'm talking bonkers, like I've lost it. You might be thinking like I'm going mental, I'm going crazy, because I am telling you something that even people that gave you a religion, even the people that gave you all these books, ancient texts like the Bible, all these religious texts, this knowledge I'm telling you, or all these things I'm teaching you today, it's already there, ladies and gentlemen, but because it's been hidden in what's called esoteric language, layers the story, the true meaning behind the stories. All those stories that you hear in the Bible, all those characters, all those happenings are simply dramatization of what we are talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's not secular history. It's not people that happened or lived at a certain point in life 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. No. These aren't real people or real experiences. This is a dramatization of mental science all the way from Genesis to Revelation. So what I am telling you is a metaphysics, esoteric knowledge that is embedded already in your religious texts. So let's go back to what we're talking about. Let's give another example. What do you want? You want to have a new partner, whether it's a new girlfriend, whether it's a wife, a husband, or a boyfriend. Imagine in your higher consciousness, in your spiritual self, you are meeting, and be very specific, the kind of man or the kind of woman that you want to experience or to share this physical world with. Because there's no point. Don't second best yourself. Okay? Go for the best. Go for the best, because you are the best. You are God in flesh. So be very specific. Don't settle for less. What is it? You want to have the best, the good-looking husband, good-looking wife. And be even specific with their character or even their physical self. How do they look like? Imagine in your higher self, you being in a relationship with this man or this woman, going on dates, going places, going for a dinner date, walking, taking a stroll in the park, doing all your favorite things, sharing moments, special moments between the two of you, laughing and joking, kissing, whatever that you want to do, or whatever that you would like to experience in this physical reality, create it in your non-physical self. Because your non-physical self, that is where your higher you, your higher self is. That is where your higher experiences are. Let's give another example. ladies and gentlemen, there are countless examples I can give you. You want to have a car. Be very specific. What kind of car do you want? Okay, you're specific what kind of car you want. Now, open the door into that car. Sit in that car. Feel the driving wheel, the steering wheel, sorry. Feel the interior of the car. Drive that car. Go to different locations. Go on holidays. Go to work, or just have a little drive. Feel the drive. How does it feel? Put the radio on. Put the lights on. Because it's your car that you've just created. Well, you haven't created it because it's already there. Every single thing that you want in life is already created, because God is the all. God is the one. God is the mind. There is nothing else outside God. Every single possible creation that you can think of is already there. But what you need to do is to appropriate yourself, or to shift yourself from this state of consciousness, or the state of reality you are right now, to that reality you wish to have. Be in it. Because there are so many states of consciousness. All you have to do, shift yourself from this reality into that reality that you desire to have. Any possible thing, any single thing that you wish to have is already there, ladies and gentlemen. But the secret is, well, it's not even a secret. It's simply something that we have forgotten. We've developed some kind of amnesia. Education, politics, indoctrination through religious indoctrinations is laid out so many layers on our psyche that we have to peel so many layers for us to imagine our true self. Like I said to you before at the beginning of this video, you are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. That's what you are. Health. You want to have health, because that what you see as disease is a disease. And what causes disease? Disease is caused by easiness in your non-physical body. Every disease is a manifestation of your spiritual headers, or your spiritual imbalances. That's what's happening. Every single disease can be healed, or can be cured in your non-physical self. I'm not saying do not take medication, but what I am saying to you, go to your higher self. You can, whatever ailment that you have, again, reality is caused by imagination, or imagination creates a reality. You are suffering for whatever kind of ailment, what kind of disease that you are suffering from, even the fatal disease, life-threatening disease. The doctor might tell you, you know what, you've got only 2 months to live, 3 months to live, or you've got days to live. But you know what? You go to your Father's house, you go to your higher self, and you're going to be imagining health. See yourself very healthy, walking, jogging, in perfect health, smiling and joking, smiling and laughing, enjoying every single thing that you want to do in life, with a perfect health, your perfect body, with no disease, with no ailment. All of these things, imagine it in your non-physical reality. And ladies and gentlemen, watch the miracle happen. Well, it's not even a miracle. It's because you do not know how the universe, how reality is governed. Reality is governed by law. It is the law, or divine law. Once you understand the law, once you understand the principles of reality, nothing will ever be a miracle. Nothing will ever be impossible. That which you call a miracle is something that has happened because you do not know how it's governed. You do not know the principles or the laws behind it. And ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you something that you need to apply it in your life. Like I said, I'm not going to give you theoretical knowledge simply that you're going to store it in your head. Put everything that we talked about into practice, into your day-to-day life. What is it that you want? Create it in your imagination. Create it in your non-physical self. I know when I'm telling you, I talk about metaphysics, I talk about esoteric knowledge. You might be thinking I'm talking about something in La La Land, in Cuckoo Land, like I've totally lost my marbles. But ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna go back in antiquity, there were mystery schools, and all these things were taught in to initiates. All these things, but it's only what happened is, if I'm gonna give you a little bit brief of history. What happened is the people that owned and knew this knowledge, they wanted to control the world. And what better way to control the world than to create a religion, to monopolize this ancient knowledge. So by monopolizing this ancient knowledge, they've created religions, and they've created indoctrinations through the governments or through education. And because of that, we've been made slaves. Really, we've been indoctrinated into something that is absolutely not true. But only the very few people who are called initiates or initiated have been given the privilege to understand all of these things that we are talking about. Like I say to you, that book which you call the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, is nothing else but a book about mental science. It's a psychological book. A book about what? A book about you. A book about consciousness or your soul. A book about you. There is nothing else outside creation. There is nothing else outside God. Even though I don't like to give the creator any name, for a lack of a better word, let's just say God, or I prefer the word creator. Even the creator, it's not even appropriate word. The best word for me is the all, the mind, the one, because you are the one. You are part of the one. There is nothing outside of the one. You are it. The one became you so that you can experience. So the one can experience reality through you. The one, the mind, the all, the creator is a perfection. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine your life. Imagine if you were perfect. You had everything perfect. You have everything in abundance. There is nothing else but perfection. Would you not be bored, ladies and gentlemen? If your life, if everything that you wanted was just a perfect, nothing else, everything is a perfect, whatever that you want is there, whatever that you need is there, you've got everything. You don't need to do nothing. You just need to sit there. Food, what not? You have it right in front of you. You don't need to even move a muscle. Would that not be a boring life, ladies and gentlemen? See, this is what the absolute or the creator did. Creator is perfection. But the creator of the absolute or consciousness or the one wanted to experience a reality, different kind of reality. So what the one or the absolute did is to lose some of its perfections or perfectedness. So the one or the absolute became imperfect. And how did the one and the absolute become imperfect? By becoming you, or reducing or deducting some of its perfectness and became you. We are not saying you are not perfect. We are saying the absolute had to reduce itself to become you. And how does it do that? By forgetting what it is. Forgetting who it is, by becoming you. And how do you become the absolute, and how do you become the one? By remembering that you are the absolute. This is the greatest paradox, ladies and gentlemen. This is the greatest secret. The absolute had to forget that it is perfect. It is perfect. The absolute had to forget that it is absolute. It had to become you. But your job in return for this love. This is the divine love. You always hear about the divine love because God gave you love. So God showed love to you by becoming you. But you need to retain this grace, retain this love, replicate this love to God. How do you do that? By remembering that you are God. That's all you need to do. You don't need to give any money, any tithing. You don't need to go to a building called a church. You don't need to be reading a book called the Bible. You don't need to be praying to somebody out there, because there is no somebody out there. How can you pray to yourself? Because you are it. How can you give money to something that has got everything? How can you give money to something that creates money? That is illogical. Doesn't make any sense. This is what religion has taught you. You are taught that you've been told that you are an insignificant creature who's going to be here, slave away through this physical reality which is called life, and beg for mercy and beg for things that you want to manifest in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of a creature and what kind of a God will do that? Definitely not a God that is got love. Definitely not a God that is got your best interest at heart. This is an evil God that the religion and everybody else is praying to, because that's not the real God. The real God is the all, the one, the one, all, the mind. This is the real God. So when I am teaching you and when I'm telling you metaphysics and esoteric knowledge, this is what I'm telling you. I am teaching you something that you have developed some kind of amnesia. You're totally forgotten. But some of it is not your fault. Some of it is because you've been indoctrinated. I understand that. I get that. And don't go hard on yourself, because you know what? It's not your fault. It is the culture that you grow up in. It is the society that you grow up in. Everybody just been following sheep, fellow sheep. Everybody been following that lost sheep. There is no such a thing as a pastor, a prophet, or this and that, because you are a pastor, you are a prophet, you are a man of God, you are a woman of God. Do you know why? Because you are God. You are God in flesh. But when you remember who you are, you're going to remember what you can and what you're capable of doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to give a quick summary of what we're talking about. This is very, very important. I want you to understand you are a triune being. You are a holy trinity. You are your physical body, which is your lower self, our animalistic self. But there are other two realities or two states of consciousness that you are existing and experiencing right about now. Not until you die, this a physical reality. Not when we bury this body in a grave. No. It's happening at this very moment of time. There is a synchronized reality, which is the 3-in-1, which is happening right about now. Your mental reality and your spiritual reality. Now here's the thing. Everything that happens in your physical reality is an afterthought or an after expression of that which you have created in your non-physical reality. So essentially, you are creating your world. Everything that you are experiencing, do not blame others. Do not blame everybody else, because the buck stops with you. You are the creator of everything that you are experiencing. Are you experiencing depression? Are you experiencing this and that? It's you who's causing it. Are you experiencing a heartbreak? Are you experiencing this and that? It's you who's creating it. Nobody else. Do not be blaming anybody else, because you are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. You are not your physical being. You are going through trials and tribulations. You are going through painful moments. It's simply because you are identifying yourself with this physical self. This is why. The very moment you detach yourself, you divorce yourself from your physical self and attach yourself with your non-physical higher self, all disease, all pain, all trauma will simply disappear just like that. And it's not even a miracle, it's called a divine law. So this is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So when we're talking about metaphysics and esoteric knowledge, this is exactly what we are talking about. We are not talking fantasy. We are not talking la la land or cuckoo land. We haven't lost our marbles. We are teaching you the reality of reality, the reality of the self. Because we have developed for a very long time some kind of an amnesia, and we've totally forgotten ourselves. I am who I am. That's you. Even Moses was told, the character called Moses was told in the Bible, in the book of Exodus, when I go to the Israelites, when I go down there, they're going to ask me, who sent you? What is your name? And God said, I am who I am. Because I am who I am is you. The children of the Israelites, or the Israelites' children, is you. You are an Israelite because you are the I am. Israel means I am. There was no other community that lived in the Middle East that had been chosen that way in Egypt. Everybody knows, if there is anybody who documented all their history, it was the Egyptians. And there is never any single piece of history that says there was a group of people called the Jews who were slaves in Egypt. The Egyptians had reached a highest level of civilization. They never kept no slaves. Everybody was free to be themselves because they understood that they were the I am. They understood they were the Israelites. So there was never in a diaspora age, or the Israelites, the Jews were in Israel. All of these are metaphorical, symbolical, esoteric knowledge. Coming out of Egypt is you coming out of your physical self. When you're coming out of Egypt, you are coming out of your physical self. 40 years in the wilderness, or 40 years journey to Canaan, is nothing else but you coming out of the 4 levels of your existence, which is your mind, your body, and your spirit. And you're going to go to the absolute. Absolute is the land of Canaan. That's all it is. It's all metaphorical. Whenever you see the numbers in the Bible, it's all numerology. I don't know how to say that word. Numerology. Okay, I got that. Right? That's all it is. But all the numbers that you see in the Bible, they are trying to tell you something. We are talking about spiritual science here. We are talking about mental science here. We're not talking about secular historical things that actually happened at some point in life. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything you're going to take, because I think we talked about a lot about it here. If there's anything that I'm going to leave you with, is this: you are a powerful, very, very extremely powerful, creative, spiritual being. You are a powerful, creative, spiritual being. There's no limitations to what you can have or what you can do. All you have to do, you've been given this power of imagination. A reality is created by imagining. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to have? Simply imagine it. And when you imagine, be in that state of consciousness. Be in that state, be in that fantasy, in that desire, in that goal. Be in it, experience it. And by doing so, you are creating it. And it's just a matter of time before it manifests in your physical reality. That's all it is. And it's not a miracle. It's simply that we've developed some kind of a forgetfulness. We have developed some kind of an amnesia. And the culprit, of course, is education, religion, and those who rule this world. Of course, they want to make us, the establishment, they want to make us slaves. But once you understand, and once you regain your power, you can never be a slave no more. You can never be in a prison no more. You're going to be free. Free to manifest, to experience, free to do whatever you want. I want you to understand this, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the biggest secret. This is the secret that a lot of people have been hiding away from you. And this is a secret that religion and all the churches are hiding away from you. Like I say to you, the Bible is a very, very important book. It's a very powerful book. But most of us, we read it the wrong way. Most of us, we understand it the wrong way. Most of us, we've been taught it the wrong way. Because the Bible was written Bible wasn't written by headsmen, shepherds, uneducated people. The Bible was written by scholars, scribes, priests who have who took all the ancient scrolls all over the world, put it together, and then got it out of these people. There are so many, all the stories that you know in the Bible, they were taught long time ago, before even the Bible was written, by other people of different cultures and traditions. Because this is secret teaching of all ages since the advent of human beings in this reality that is called the physical world. So this is ancient knowledge that goes way back before even the Bible was written. But it has to be preserved. This knowledge had to be, back in the day, it was a free knowledge, which was a free to everybody. But the people, the establishment, the people that owns that owns the churches, that owns the government, that are ruling everything else, they want to have a monopoly. They want to control this knowledge. They don't want to give you for free. That's why you have to spend ages and ages. Like me, I'm an independent researcher. I have to study all these things, layers after layers. I have to read so many scholarly things. I mean, I'm not even a scholar. I never went to university. And the things, there's amount of scholarly material, boring stuff, complicated stuff I have to read to dig down the layers so I can come and explain to you in a simple terminology. And ladies and gentlemen, the power is in your hands. Nobody else has got the power. There is no other entity out there. Prayer is not a vocation of words. That's blabbing. That's making noise. That which you call prayer, when you are blabbing, making all this vocal noise, that's making noise. Prayer is assimilating and appropriating yourself with that what you want. See it as if it's done. Be it as if it's done. That is prayer. When you are connecting yourself, you need to develop some kind of a connectedness with that which you want. That is prayer. It's got nothing to do with the blabbing words. Because who are you talking to? There's nobody out there. The all is here. You are part of it. So how can you talk to somebody which you are? That does not make any sense. So ladies and gentlemen, I know that most of you, I might have confused you, because some of you, this might be the first time you've heard this knowledge. Some of you, you've never heard this before. And some of you, you might get a little bit confused. And some of you, you might get a bit distressed. But you know what? Do not worry about anything at all. Because you know what? Everything is going to be okay. I know you might be thinking, God might not be happy with what I'm hearing or what I'm going to be doing. These words are Antichrist. This is the devil speaking. I know some of you might say that. But I want to give you a reassurance that everything is going to be fine. Because you are it. You are God in flesh. God became you. You need to understand and remember that you are God. This is the great awakening. This is the resurrection. When we are talking about the resurrection of Christ, this is the resurrection of Christ, because the Christ has been buried inside you. Christ, which is Christ consciousness. What is Christ consciousness? Christ consciousness is your higher self, the divine self, the absolute, the God in you. It has been buried inside you. It has been buried inside this flesh, inside this physical self. But it has to be resurrected. It has to rise because it's been crucified, buried, nailed on the cross. What is the cross? Cross is you. If you spread your arms, if you spread your legs, that is the cross. The Christ consciousness has been crucified in you. But it's going to come back in 3 days. Why 3? Again, we're going to go back to my funny way to numerology, right? Why number 3? Because number 3 is your spiritual. Number 3, there is the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. It is on the 3rd day. The 3rd day is your third realm of existence, 3rd dimension, the 3rd level.